Splurge versus Save Makeup Water Resistant Mascara. I'm excited for this one because I like them both. I'm going to demonstrate and we'll do a wear test to see which one wears better. I'm excited. For the Splurge option, we have the Hourglass. They're Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara, $29 US. It's a tubular formula, which means it's supposed to be water resistant. It's not supposed to smudge, flake, transfer, all of that good stuff. They're claiming this to be a defining, a lifting, and of course, the lengthening, the extension result for your lashes. The wand is a rubberized or silicone style bristles. They get shorter towards the top and they kind of fan out towards the bottom, somewhat like a Christmas tree. So this really helps you get the definition, the lengthening, and of course the lift. You can kind of do whatever you like, but I like starting at the roots, looking down into my mirror, and then really gently rolling the mascara up towards the tips. And again, very, very thin layers to get the best results. The tubing formulas, they're really good for that longevity. If you're prone to smudging, flaking, transferring is a really big one, especially for myself. I have that really big problem or issue with most mascaras. If they're not long wearing, if they're not tubular or waterproof, I get a lot of transfer right here in my upper eyelid and the lower lash line. So tubular mascaras, that's what they're really good for. They're good for longevity and they're really good for definition and length. I would say the one thing that they struggle with, because usually their formulas are more slick, more wet, and they're just heavier than a typical mascara, they can really weigh your lashes down. And because they set and they kind of form this film over your lashes, they're also pretty hard to build. So that's why I keep stressing the point of very thin, very light layers. So if you're trying to really build up that volume, I wouldn't personally recommend a tubular mascara for just strictly volume. This one is really great for, like they said, their length, the definition, and that lift. This mascara formula, it's not extremely wet. It's more on the drier side. You can build it up to a point, but I would say you get the most volume towards your roots. Let's move on to the Save option. This one is by number 7, and this is their Stay Perfect Long Lasting Volume Mascara. They also claim this to be a waterproof, but it's actually a tubular formula. That way it's very easy to remove at the end of the night. And that's, I would say, the biggest pro is how easy they are to remove. You just need warm water and you're good to go. So this one right here, this retails for $8.99. And you get a smaller little brush head, but very similar, the rubberized silicone bristles. But these bristles, they're a lot shorter and they're more even all throughout. So to the top to the bottom, you have all the same length bristles with some shorter bristles in between. This one I would say is really good for really defining and separating your lashes. And this formula, it's a little bit more slick or more wet in comparison to the Hourglass. I'm just doing the same thing, just rolling it very gently from the root to the tip. Another great tip, when you get more mascara, just kind of move it back and forth or just go in circulars. Don't pump it back and forth because that way you're gonna pump a lot more air in there. You see how it's kind of balling up? That means it's drying down. So I can't really apply more because it's just going to create those little ends. And they're just very easy to clean up. Just very gently, just take them off. And to clean up, just give a couple more seconds to dry and it just literally peels off your face, your eyelid, your nose, wherever you get that mascara. Nice and clean. Can't forget the lower lash line since we are doing a wear test. So even though number 7 claims to be more of a volumizing tubular mascara, I would say this one is perfect for more natural, defined lashes because that's exactly what it does. It doesn't give you any of that crazy drama. Spider lashes, no, this is just for defining and that really great length. And I think it's good. It's exactly what I kind of expect from a tubing mascara. Like I said, volumizing, even if they claim to be volumizing, most of the time they're not because they dry down. And when they dry down, you can't really add or build up that formula. Hourglass, I would say, is an exception because it does provide pretty great volume for this type of a formula. And the pigment, it's a little bit more black, it's a little bit more opaque, and with just one swipe, you can get that instant, like they say, instant extension mascara, versus the number 7. You kind of have to work with it a little bit more just because it's not as pigmented, but very easy to apply if you're looking just for that really lengthened, defined mascara eyelash look. So if you guys saw, I was trying to build a little bit more with the number 7 and it started to ball up. If I continue to pack on the number 7 mascara, my lashes would clump together because of the formula. So yeah, just stick to 1 to 2 coats to get that defined look. But the best thing about these types of mascaras, they're very easy to clean. It's a very easy removal at the end of the day. And most of the time, if it's a good tubing mascara formula, it's not going to smudge and it's not going to transfer. Because who wants raccoon eyes, you know? I don't. But, you know, sometimes I will say, disclaimer, a lot of tubing mascaras, they can flake because of that formula. But it's pretty easy to remove. You just kind of swipe and it just comes off your face. Very easy. So I sometimes overlook it. Let's go on with our wear test and see how each one wears 1 to 1. And of course, we'll also do the removal at the end of the day, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to remove these mascaras.
Come this way.
No transfer from either mascara. Lashes still lifted. So I've had this mascara on, or actually both formulas on, for over 10 hours. That update that I did was around 4.5, 5 hours into the wear test. And I think it looks pretty good. If anything, I think the hourglass is still a little bit more lifted, but the lashes didn't fall as much as the number 7. But I think all in all, they're pretty great formulas 1 to 1. Like I was telling you guys in the beginning, hourglass has a little bit more intensity. It has a little bit more volume, even though it doesn't claim to have more volume. I think it has more length. But I think if you're looking for a great, easy to apply tubing mascara from the drugstore, check out number 7, their Stay Perfect mascara. Not too much transferring or smudging. I will say one thing, there's a little bit of flaking on both mascaras, but very minimal flaking. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how to take this off, or how I take it off. So the removal process works best with warm water, and you kind of just take it into your fingers and really soften the eyelashes, and then you gently just pull the lashes, and the mascara will literally come off looking like your lashes. It's really cool. It's gonna come off in like tubes. Like, look at that. And I'm barely putting work into this. I'm using my ring finger because it's the weakest. But do you see that? Look at that. And I'm just gently touching my lashes. And that's literally the mascara. It's not my lashes coming off, it's the mascara. On this side, same thing. This one's a little bit more work. And this one is a little bit more like stringy. Are you seeing this? That looks crazy. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. Okay, it's like last bits. Alrighty. Base cleansed. Mascara is completely off on both sides. That was incredibly easy removal, and that's literally how well, most of the time I remove my tubing mascaras. Literally just with warm water, very gently kind of get the warm water in there activated, and then very gently kind of just start like taking them off, and it comes off looking like your lashes, but it's not. It's literally the tubes that have encapsulated your lashes. I think that's what's really fascinating about this formula. I'm gonna end the night here. Thank you for watching, spending time with me, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.